I'm Corbett Wall with DVAuction, here with the feeder flash for Thursday, December the 7th, brought to you in part by Macrocin by Bimeda. Macrocin has been granted the same label claims as Draxxin by the FDA with identical comparisons, except only Macrocin is made in North America and is more affordable. For more information, go to macrocin.com. Drain it and throw away the plug. That's what it looks like to me on the board, and Wednesday's sell-off on the board finally has convinced me that this thing's going to hell. And the main reason is because it was led by live cattle futures, not the feeder cattle. The feeder cattle, it doesn't take a whole lot to make it do whatever whoever's playing with it wants it to do, but live cattle it does. There's about 10 times the open interest in live cattle as there is feeder cattle, and if you take it down that hard, and it led the feeder cattle down. So it kind of reminded me of some of the better drunks that I've known. They'd start in the morning, take a pretty good jug, pop the top and throw the top away. When you throw the top away and make sure everybody sees it, you know they ain't playing. They're going to finish it. And I think that's where we're at right now. It's going to be a major sell-off. We've seen a lot of volatility, down, up. We were just up big on Tuesday, but then Wednesday being down that hard. But I just have to tell you, with the live cattle down that much and pulling the feeder cattle with them, it's convinced me that we are there. These huge daily limits that the CME has put on here just assures them that they're going to get some commission. We don't see limit moves anymore. They've made them so huge that we never even approach the limits anymore. And then, of course, if you ever do with even one contract in your cattle sector, then they all go to expanded limits, which are more than anybody ever sees in a daily move. But it's definitely enough to take everybody's heads off. And I was talking with Justin Tupper on Wednesday, and he said, you know, even gambling tables have limits. You can still lose everything you've got, but they've still got limits. There's essentially no limits in your cattle anymore on the futures. Of course, we figure, you know, most people are protected. If they're not protected, it's not from the lack of me barking at them to get that way. But most people are protected, especially with LRPs now. And then, of course, we were talking about the LRPs maybe causing some of the big sell-off there. But they're still valuable. They're still a great thing to get, still great protection. And they sure didn't cause the big sell-off on Wednesday with live cattle leading the way. But it reminded me, Jared Herman, friend of mine, reminded me of what Warren Buffett said one time. When the tide goes out, you'll find out who's been swimming naked. And I think we're going to find that out here. You know, these things are too volatile, and the price levels that we reached of late got too high not to be protected, guys. And I don't care if you're just playing around with a few cattle. That's the good thing about the LRPs, is you can take them out on just a few cattle. You don't have to have a commodity account and hedge a whole load of them. But it's a sad thing, and you know, and everybody's really down about it. You know, you figure that, you just step back and you take a look and you say, well, the cattle market's gone to hell. On Tuesday, they allowed 12,000 illegal immigrants to cross our southern border. And they're not Mexicans. There's barely a Mexican in the bunch. All the Mexicans that wanted to come up here are already up here. And a lot of them are working hard and doing a good job. These people are coming from places we never even heard of before. All they hear about is how easy it is in America, and we're just letting them right in. You just look at that, it's very disgusting, and you start to think that the whole world is turning to shit. And then you think, well, the holidays are right around the corner. I think the holidays may be something that could stop this massive sell-off, because we'll at least have a couple of days there that we don't have any board at all, where we can stop this thing and that's how you stop a dog from chasing its tail. How you stop a sale barn trader from running sale to sale like a dog chasing its tail. When the sale barns close for the holidays, when the board closes for the holidays, it stops. And so we may be able to stop some of this sell-off whenever we get to the big holidays here, and then we'll have some new resurgence whenever we get into the new year, and we'll have some new hopes and confidence hopefully going forward there. And you think, well, it's rodeo time. Oh, thank goodness. Thursday here, it's supposed to be the first round of the National Finals Rodeo. Most all of us enjoy that. A lot of us are going out there to partake in it. And then you find out some thug started shooting at University of Nevada, Las Vegas, on the campus there, which is where the Thomas and Mack Arena is, where the rodeo is held. Killed 3 people, and then the police killed him back. And now the PRCA has announced that they're going to cancel the first round of the National Finals Rodeo. That would not be the position that I would take on that. For one thing, we give those shooters in these mass shootings too much publicity. We should never hear his name spoken. We should never see his face. It should just be some thug killed 3 people on the campus of UNLV. Never show his face, never talk another thing about him, just say the police killed him back. We don't want those nuts to think that they're going to get famous over this. And then we just talk about the poor people that lost their life. That's what it should be, and then we should go right back to doing what we want to do, including having rodeo there. I'm not sure if they wanted to put out the publicity that rodeo people are more sensitive than we seem and things like that. I hope that's not the reason. I don't know if you guys knew that on Tuesday was an important vote for rodeo, because they were trying to ban the rodeo that they were going to have in Los Angeles, California, that they've been promoting. And the city council there had a vote before them to ban rodeo. My buddy Dave Duquette with Western Justice, he fights that kind of things, and he's for everything cowboy and Western heritage. And he was there, and they had a victory. They didn't win the vote, but they caused a big enough stir with a bunch of vaqueros and Mexican Western heritage people there, that they caused the city council to table the thing and put it on a committee, which that would be a good place for them to bury this. I think they found out that they weren't going to do this and it was just going to go away. But had we lost that vote, it could have eventually led to no more rodeo in California. So we're glad that we won that. What's this world coming to? What's this market coming to? It's just very frustrating. I do want to tell you about the Callaway Livestock Center Thursday night cow special. It's going to be here tonight on the 7th, starting at 6 o'clock p.m. on DVAuction.com. 125 fancy side and stricker genetics bred heifers. They're going to weigh 11. About 25 of them have already calved. They'll have calves at side. Fancy, fancy, fancy. Another 100 head of bred heifers start calving February the 1st. They're fancy. They've got 60 young to middle-aged black pairs there with good-sized calves on them. 205 head dispersal, mostly 4 to 7-year-old cows. They're due to start calving in February. Another 500 of all classes and quality levels, guys. If you're looking for replacements, don't miss that sale at Callaway Livestock Center, Kingdom City, Missouri. That's right in the center of the state, right on I-70, and easy freight from anywhere to anywhere. Also, Punchy Pick of the Month. We have fun with that all the time. I like to remind you guys about it. Send us your punchy picks. Send them to punchy@NationalBeefWire.com. We've already got a bunch for this month. Going to be another great contest. The grand prize winner, don't forget, gets all that cool swag from Beaver Feed Company in Beaver, Oklahoma. Also, Beaver County Stockyards, they got the neatest caps in the business. You get all kinds of stuff from them. And then the best of the grand prize is the whole case of Therapies, that revolutionary product that has no withdrawal. You squirt it on the calves' head or nose and poll, and it calms them down. And everybody I talk to, everywhere I go, people that have tried it are just giving me testimonials of how great it's working for them. Check out the video I'll attach at the end of this Feeder Flash episode. How about your board? We've been cussing it ever since I started talking here. December live cattle futures down 505 at 163.45. My goodness. February down 542 at 163.55. You know, if the CME would change that live cattle contract to where you could demand delivery, not demand delivery if you had some tendered already, not demand that. Just straight up, if you got a long position, I want the cattle. Bring me those good fat cattle at 163 and a half. I'll take them. If they would allow that, they're going to have delivery on the short side. Demand long side delivery. Make those shorts bring you the cattle. They got to meet the specs. Then we would at least have a few longs in there. We would have some people in the business that might want to take those cattle back to feed and make them even higher quality. You would have some small packers in there. It would stir things up a little bit and at least give us some longs in there, some people within the industry. I doubt they do it. CME doesn't want to do anything. Talk about the back months on your live cattle futures, down 297 to down 482. Feeder cattle contracts down hard, but not as bad as the live cattle. The live cattle actually drug the feeder cattle lower. January feeder cattle down 455 at 210.15. March down 572 at 211.75. Back months on feeder cattle down hard, down $5 to down 577, all the way throughout your last traded month. December corn keeps getting cheaper, down 3 3/4 cents at 464 3/4. January beans down 10 cents, 12.95 and a half. Kansas City hard red winter wheat for December down 6 3/4 cents at 6.50 3/4 cents a bushel. Your fat cattle trade. Here's another reason that I'm convinced that we are in the throes of a big time bear market here. Iowa sold cattle at 171. They only sold 3,100 head. They've only sold 4,500 head for the week at 171. I assume your packers are hoping that the board will be down again big here on Thursday, and then maybe they only have to give 160 for the cattle. You guys think that I'm hard on these packers, and sometimes we get some sympathy for them whenever the market's up all the time. You watch them during this down market. You see how cutthroat they are. 171. Now on the Fed Cattle Exchange on Wednesday, they offered several cattle, and a lot of them in the Southern Plains. The problem was they had reserves on them at 174, but we had major packers bid up to 172 on those cattle in a competitive bidding format there. They bid up to 172 on the Fed Cattle Exchange on Wednesday morning, and then when the board continued lower, by Wednesday afternoon, even 3 or 4 o'clock Wednesday afternoon, you could not get 170 for cattle. And I guess they didn't have the gall to offer in the 160s for cattle, not yet. Nebraska, 7,500 head sold on Wednesday, 9,300 head for the week. Live price was 170 to 171. Dress price from 267 to 272. They did have some 270 in Iowa before I went off there. Kansas, 6,200 sold on Wednesday, 9,400 for the week, all at 171. Texas, 3,400 sold on Wednesday, just 3,900 for the week, 170 to 171. So your market so far, middle of the week here, your market in the Northern Plains is $5 to $7 lower live, $8 lower dressed, $6 to $7 lower in the Southern Plains. Had a sale barn fat cattle auction, Sioux Falls Regional Livestock of Worthing, South Dakota. Their slaughtered steers were $7 to $10 lower, just like Yankton was on Tuesday. Conventional fat sold from 162.5 to 170. Had some program fed cattle, non-implanted or drug-free, up to 173. Box beef cutout values, mixed choice down hard, down 319 at 290.56. Selects up 77 cents at 259.90. Your slaughter through the first 3 days of the week, 376,000. That's up 3,000 from last week, down 2,000 from the same week a year ago. Talk about what else is going on. Livestock Risk Services, that's Dakota Moss, and he's got a long list of agents that are working with him. They are your LRP specialists, guys, and they're still out there, and they're still a good way to hedge your risk, guys. Just because we've talked about them maybe sparking some of the sell-off on the feeder board here over the last few weeks does not mean they're not out there. The government is still supplementing them, and it's still a good way to protect yourself. Let the guys and girls at Livestock Risk Services help you get through these volatile times. For more information, go to livestockriskservices.com. Talk about your feeder cattle market. Your real-time index on DVAuction based on an 800-pound cash auction steer up through the middle 12 states. Of course, it was down sharp. This is all the way through your Thursday sales, down 275, sitting at 218.53. Got some big sales coming up here on Thursday. Mitchell Livestock Marketing in Mitchell, South Dakota. They're on DVAuction.com. 4,000 head for them. They're one of the few sales that you're going to see, especially in the Northern Plains, that are going to have more yearlings than they are calves. They've got a lot of yearlings there. Be a lot of straight backs. They got some mixed yearlings there, but only about 1,500 calves. And they'll be top quality too. But check out the yearlings. If you guys are wanting some true yearlings, take advantage of the market slipping here and get you some hard yearling cattle to feed instead of having to feed those calves. Talk about a big sale coming up. Ozarks Regional Stockyard, West Plains, Missouri, on Friday night or Friday evening late, starting at 5 o'clock in the evening on DVAuction.com or DVAuction.com. That's out of West Plains, Missouri. They've got a big offering of replacement stock there. 400 of those big fancy heifers from one guy there, and they're going to weigh 11.5 at least. You just don't see them that far along and that good. They'll start calving February the 1st, and then they're the best you can get, guys. I'm going to be at Beaver County Stockyards on Saturday starting at 10 o'clock in the morning. They're going to have 1,500 for a bred heifer and bred cow special. Have some pairs along there too. If you guys are in the area, come see me and come watch the sale there at Beaver County Stockyards in Beaver, Oklahoma this Saturday. Talk about your big sales on Wednesday. OKC West, El Reno, Oklahoma had 8,300 head. Feeder steers, $4 to $12 lower. Feeder heifers, $1 to $3 lower. I love it when we have good market reporting, and it's getting more rare all the time, but they have it in Oklahoma on the few sales that they cover. Calves are $5 to $10 lower. And when the market's lower, call the market lower. I was a market reporter for 18 years, guys. They want you to tell them the truth. Don't leave people out there hanging. Tell them what it is. It's easier for you to do it than it is for the auction company to call it that much lower. Talk about winter livestock in Dodge City, Kansas, 3,600 head. Steers are $4 to $8 lower. Heifers $5 to $10 lower. Had a stick-out sale on some pee-wee steers just right for wheat. 82 steer calves weighed 426, bring 354 in Dodge City, Kansas. Now I'm going to tell you about a premium sale up in the Northern Plains. 3,100 head at Bassett Livestock Auction. You know how it can be there at Bassett. Of course, it's lower, but apparently they made people turn their phones in when they went in that morning early and did not allow any news to come into the sale barn, because they had a sale just like nothing ever happened there. And it'll be the last time for a while that you see prices like this. And it was your National Beef Wire stick out sale of the day there at Bassett Livestock Auction, now on DVAuction.com also. It was mostly steers. There was no recent comparison on the price, but they are keeping heifers around there, guys. We've seen that here for the last 6 weeks or so. Up there where they have the premium kind of cattle, they are keeping some heifers back. But look at these steers, and these are big bunches put together here. 794 head of 5-weight steer calves in Bassett, Nebraska. They average $559 with a weighted average price on nearly 800 of them of $296. Remember that, because you might want to look back on it sometime. 1,282 head of 6-weight steer calves in Bassett, average $644 at $269.23. My goodness. And 316 head of 7-weight steers, they'd be calves, 730 pounds on the average, $249.93 on the weighted average price there. Excellent sale there at Bassett, guys. And like I said, we probably won't see prices quoted like that for a long time. How about individual quotes? Wright County Livestock, and that's in Mountain Grove, Missouri. That's South Central Missouri. DV Auction broadcaster. 68 steers, weight 852, bring 215.35. You're not going to see that for a while either, guys. How about Stockman's Livestock Market in Yankton, South Dakota? Their feeder sale, they sold 239 head of 988-pound steers, weighing nearly a grand for $215.50. But the most impressive quotes that I saw anywhere on Wednesday, your Macrocin, no BS, top quote for the day, of course, come out of Bassett Livestock Auction. There's 2 of them. You guys can pick your choice. I like the 109 steer calves, weighed 532 at $3.30 a pound. May never see that again. But this one's even bigger. 212 head, weighed 600 pounds smooth, and bring $311. And that's your feeder flash for Thursday.